former WWE diva, ninth wonder of the world, Chyna. Well, looks like after a series of media blitz tours, which ultimately backfired, looks like Chyna has posted a video on YouTube pleading, literally begging Triple H and Vince McMahon to meet with her to try to make amends. You can't make this shit up, folks. She said in direct quote, "I've gone to WWE offices to try to get a meeting and to discuss these issues personally with Hunter and Vince, and I would really like to open the dialogue and have an audience with them to make that happen. Hunter and Vince, may I please have a meeting so we can make amends and bury the hatchet?" Now, of course, Chyna recently now wasn't like it was a situation where Chyna, remember 5 years ago when you said it wasn't anything like that? I mean, this woman just literally like last week, what was it, Opie and not Anthony, because Anthony got canned from Sirius, whoever the other guy is, Opie and John, or I'm just going to say Beavis and Butthead. You know, she was on their show and everything, and Sean Waltman, aka X-Pac, he called into the show and vehemently denied the accusations that Chyna had made. As I mean, you take your pick. I mean, the stuff about Triple H beating her, Sean was like, that's bullshit. Even went as far as to say, look, I will, you know, there's a courthouse nearby, I'll come down here, I'll take a lie detector test, I'll do whatever, I'm telling the truth. You know, and he's telling Chyna, look, why can't you just move on with your life? Everybody else has moved on. Why are you still so caught up in the past? What the fuck? It's a very sad and it's a very delicate situation as she's trying to do her best to push her Kickstarter campaign, as it's the money that they're trying to get is for a documentary about her basically trying to reconstruct her life. She's trying to rebuild herself, her brand, her identity, and all that. And so far, they're stuck at $4,000. They're trying to raise $10,000. But hey, don't just take my word for it as far as Chyna and the pling and all this other shit. Here, listen for yourself. Kudos to you if your ears do not bleed and you don't have an aneurysm listening to her, because she just sounds so irritating. But here, listen for yourself.
Hi, this is Chyna, and I just want to respond to all of the craziness that's been going on between myself and the WWE and myself and Hunter. First, I want to say that my name is Chyna. Those that know me as Joni or Joan, that's cool, but just to let everybody out there know that my name is legally Chyna. So, regarding my relationship with the WWE and Hunter, those were the best days of my life, wonderful opportunities, and I'm very grateful for those days, which is why I feel so passionate about being inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame. And in my campaign to be inducted, a lot of other issues have come up, which I feel are personal between myself and Hunter and myself and Vince. And I have gone to WWE offices to try to get a meeting to discuss these issues personally with Hunter and with Vince. And I would really like to open the dialogue and have an audience with them to make that happen. Hunter and Vince, may I please have a meeting so we can make amends and bury the hatchet?
Yeah, I think you lost any opportunity of trying to make amends and all that when you went out there. And first off, you did these crappy-ass porn videos where you basically was involved in these little segments where you had a pretend Stephanie McMahon and Vince McMahon fuck the hell out of you, like literally. So that's like warped right there. Then you do these series of interviews where you're bashing the fuck out of Triple H. You say that he was beating you. You say that, he was cheating on you and all this other shit. Now, I'll touch upon the whole cheating thing in a little bit. I will defend her from that standpoint in just a couple of seconds, right? But she put that out there. Then she insinuates with one tweet that she put out there that basically Triple H likes little boys or something to that effect, right? Doesn't have really any kind words to say about Stephanie McMahon. So, I mean, she just keeps digging this ditch. And then it's like, oh, but I really would like to go into the WWE Hall of Fame. I don't know what's going on with this woman. I remember there was an article that I had wrote about her years back. I'm going to actually try to see if I can pull it up right now. And I wrote it at a time where I was very concerned about her safety and her well-being. Yeah, here it is. January 26, 2012. Chyna, misunderstood or a fallen star. This was a really, really good article that I had wrote. And I'm not going to bore you with it because it's a rather lengthy editorial that I did, but what I will do for you guys, especially those of you that are live right now and you're interacting with us in the little chat here, I'll actually post it in the comment section here, in the chat here. I had a lot of fun writing that. Check that out, guys. Good stuff. But I mean, look, let me just back up a little bit with regards to her and the whole Triple H Hunter, as she keeps calling him. Sister, I think you lost the right to call him Hunter once you started name bashing this guy and you started making all these accusations and all that. Call him Paul. Call him Paul. What's wrong with calling him Paul? You can call him Paulie. You can call him PL. You can call him Trips. Right? I don't really think you should be calling him Hunter, because the people that I've seen call him Hunter are close friends, and I don't exactly think he considers you a close friend. All right, so look, I'll defend Chyna about the whole Triple H, he was having this affair with Stephanie and blah this and blah that. Now look, when it's all said and done, there's part of me that truly believes that Chyna is telling the truth as far as the circumstances surrounding Triple H getting with Stephanie McMahon. I don't think there's been any doubt about the circumstances of how Triple H and Steph got together and how basically they were keeping it a secret and all that other stuff. And honestly, in hindsight, Triple H, it's just very well possible that he may have tried to hide it for as long as he possibly could and try to look for the right opportunity to break things down to Chyna, because he knew about her personality. He probably was aware that she really wasn't going to be able to take the news that well. And I mean, just think back to how she first looked before she got all the surgery done, all that. Probably wasn't a guy that wanted to touch her. Maybe not until Triple H came along or whatever. I can barely remember the stuff that she said in her book. I think she might have had one other boyfriend before Triple H, but as far as her and Triple H, I think that relationship had lasted a lot longer than with the previous guy that she had hooked up with or whatever. You know, I've never heard of a woman not being able to let it go. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, so, and this type of shit, it happens all the time. People fall out of love with one another all the time. It happens. It's an unfortunate thing, especially when one person feels a certain way and the other person does not feel that way anymore. It's very unfortunate. Trust me, it's very unfortunate. When I was married the first go round, I mean, I was moving heaven and earth. I was doing everything I possibly could to try to win my now ex-wife back. And when I thought I was doing everything right, when I thought everything was good, honestly, she just had loved the booty call. That's what it was really about. Having access to the D when she needed it the most. That's what it was really all about. She wasn't really interested in reconciliation and all that. You know, people fall out of love with one another all the time. The key to moving forward, though, is to be able to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and say, okay, you know what? This sucks. This stings. But you know what? There's plenty other people that's out there. I remember reading some type of a funny statistic a while back. Doesn't mean that it's true. But I bet you if you stop and you think about how many relationships you've been in up to this point, I know you guys, I know our listener age range and all that, we're averaging about anywhere between 18 to early 50s, all right? So I have a good idea of our audience, but fellas, ladies, I mean, come on, let's be for real. Probably been in more relationships like exceeds your fingers. You know, you're probably past 10. And I mean, it happens. In some cases, people just have to keep going from, you know, one relationship to another, to another, to another. Hopefully not in like succession. You know, there's some good little breaks in between where you're just spending alone time with yourself, getting your shit together before going back out on the dating scene and all that. But my God, woman, you know, stop being so caught up in the past. It's like literally time to move on with yourself. I mean, does Chyna not know of Christian Mingle, eHarmony? I mean, my God. I mean, you know, I don't get that. I just don't get that. You talk about being so caught up in the past and all that. She demonstrates to me somebody who is really mentally unstable. If I'm the WWE, I'm not going to grant her an audience. I'm not going to grant her a meeting. I'm just going to like quietly just leave her be. And if she continues to try to pursue the WWE, tries to get little meetings with them and all that other shit, WWE will be in their power to put some type of a restraining order there. She's lucky that there wasn't any type of a restraining order or whatnot that was in effect when she made that visit to the WWE headquarters a couple of weeks ago. I was laughing my ass off when people were like showing me the image of Chyna at WWE headquarters. Like, Lee, look, anything can happen. And I'm thinking to myself, anybody can fucking take that picture. Where's the picture with her and Triple H? Where's the picture with her and Vince McMahon? You know, where's the picture of her with Stephanie McMahon? We didn't see that. All we saw was her in what looked like she was possibly at the WWE headquarters because there was some type of a banner or whatever. Anybody can do that. You, me, can just go down there. Hey, I was at WWE headquarters. Oh, really? What were you doing there? I was in the neighborhood, so I just had my buddy take a picture. Anybody can do that shit. All right? So, please, don't be like, oh, but she went to the WWE. Fuck all that shit. That girl needs some serious help. First and foremost, if she is really serious about having any type of a relationship with anybody in the WWE, and I don't know who her PR team is, but whoever her PR team is, they need to be fucking fired because they are utter fucking garbage. Chyna, call me, baby. I will work for you for free. My number one goal would be to clean up your image, try to make you be a repackaged, a rebranded Chyna, something that people can just really make a, hey, wow, let's do this comparison. Wow, look, Chyna. The Chyna of old compared to the Chyna of new, like two different people. This Chyna is, wow, I want to be around this Chyna. This Chyna is cool. This Chyna has grown up. This Chyna has cleaned up her act. And wow, you go, girl. Wow, talk about a good way to be a good inspiration, you know, to all women everywhere, and recovering addict and all that other, you know, whoever her PR team is, she needs to fire them, because if that would have been me, if I would have been her agent, I would have been pitching out Chyna just like that. I would have been like, look, we need to get you rebranded. If you want to go into this WWE Hall of Fame, we got to clean up your image big time. And you know what? For just a brief moment, she had that. She had that when the Steve Austin Triple H podcast had came about and word had broke out that Chyna was just minding her own fucking business in Japan, Tokyo, wherever the fuck she was, and she was a school teacher apparently or whatever, and so many people were just coming to her defense because they knew that she left the United States. They knew that she was living a completely different life, and then the shitstorm started. The shitstorm started when Vince Russo did that shitty-ass interview with her where he was just concerned about making a quick buck any way he could for his brand, all right? And for me, honestly, that's where everything just really started to go downward in just a really bad spiral. And that's where she really had first started talking about, oh, Triple H, he beat me, he did this, and Vince Russo can tell me personally until he's blue in the face on why he didn't make it free initially. He can hide behind, oh, membership fees, blah this, blah that. Somebody saying they were physically abused by somebody that they were dating. I'm sorry, I cannot think of putting any type of a price tag on that, but instead go, okay, the public needs to hear this. Fuck making a dime. The public needs to hear this. Maybe the local authorities need to hear this. And shame on Vince Russo because she's saying all this shit, right? Even Opie and Jim, whatever the fuck the guy's name is, Beavis and Butthead, I'm just going to continue to call them that. You guys can correct me all you want. I'm just having fun. I just don't give a fuck. But shame on all these other podcasters that's out there. They get Chyna on their show. Hunter, he beat me. He punched me. Hunter smacked me a couple of times, and he was just so mean to me, and X-Pac, and look, for the whole Triple H shit and all that, right? All you podcasters, all you wannabe people that say, you know, you're into the hard-hitting questions and all this other shit, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong. If somebody said this, let me know. I didn't see or hear not one goddamn person say, Chyna, if Triple H really did hit you and all that, why didn't you go to the local authorities? Why didn't you try to get charges filed against him? I don't understand. Now, look, she may have said that. I bet you her answer was probably something along the lines of, he was moving up in the company and I didn't want to hurt him. I didn't want to hurt his push. That's a fucking cop-out. That's a fucking cop-out. If that was any other woman in that position, they probably would have said to Triple H, if you ever fucking put your hands on me again, not only will I get the police involved, that will be the end of any type of a professional wrestling career that you have, and this relationship is over. They would have walked away from it altogether after saying all that. So you know what? I think that Hunter beat me. That's a crock of shit. I'm just not buying it. Crock of shit. Anybody that wants to donate to Chyna's little thing, I'm not bashing you. More power to you. I hope the money goes where it needs to go. I hope that the documentary is very enlightening, right? I'll check it out to review it for you guys. I'm not paying for it. I assure you, I am not paying for that shit. So, unfortunate what's going on right there. But, you know, I would, if it was me in charge, I was her agent, I would just be so focused on cleaning up her image. I wouldn't even be granting any more interviews. I would just be trying to do my damnedest to just get her cleaned up, try to figure out a good blueprint on, you know, what's next in this stage, because this bad press, no doubt, has definitely, I feel, affected her trying to raise enough money so that they can get this documentary paid off or whatever the hell they need to do.